He's not looking for guys just to eke out decisions. He comes out here and puts on a good showing. He can look forward to having a contract.
Let's make. So we are set for this featherweight bout. Valdin Silva in the black shorts and blue corner. Tiago Costa in the yellow shorts and red corner. They've not taken their eyes off of each other. They touch him up. Tiago with a very twitchy, animated start.
Yeah, you can just see how Costa just has that twitchy movement, high energy type of. He's not even really moving that much as far as big movements for his feet or throwing punches, but it's almost like he's like that kid in class that just can't even sit still.
That's exactly right. The phrase we use in England, I don't know if it's the same in America, ants in your pants. I don't know if that's
we use that one. We use that one.
There you go.
Well, now we just say he has ADD and medicate him, so.
Look at you getting all topical for the broadcast. Oh, that's a nice shot followed by the takedown there by Tiago.
Nice 1-2 to a double. Almost got Silva in trouble there. He reached up and grabbed the fence, but he didn't quite get his fingers in there, so he didn't stop the takedown. Oh, nice transition armbar, but the elbows down low, came back across, and beautiful, strong elbows there coming from Costa.
Powerful indeed. You could hear them right in front of the commentary booth here.
Nice again, rotation
for
for
he might
Silva.
have this. He might have that armbar.
He's deep enough.
Valdin Silva.
He's trying to break the grip now. He's pulling the hand towards the other side. Oh, it's coming out. Silva better figure out. Costa has to keep this jammed, keep his forward pressure down. He could do well to drop his left knee right by the head of Silva and put his right leg right behind the butt, so that way he can keep him stacked. You do not want Silva to be able to spread his hips out right now. Basically do like a leg press. If he gets his legs extended, now the elbow's getting out, and that's what you do. You keep the guy stacked. Now he's safe. The elbow's out. Good job of keeping that ear on the outside leg there for Costa so he didn't get stuck in a triangle and turn the corner, and now he's in top referee turtle position.
Perfect defense there from Costa, and you called it inch by inch there, which was fantastic just to hear how that was working, because from where I was sat, that almost looked locked up totally, but the composure he showed as well as the understanding of that submission. Got his elbow free, and now he's the one causing damage on Valdin Silva.
Yep, keeping pressure forward. See how Costa's keeping pressure on his hands? When you're on someone's back and they're on their knees in their turtle or referee position, you want pressure on their hands. If they can get their hands off the mat, that means they can keep their hips underneath of them. They stand up. So you want people to carry your weight and their weight on the hands, so it wears out their shoulders. They can't get their head up. If they do stand up, they're going to stand with their butt up first, and that way you can easily snatch them back down with a spiral ride, kind of what he's doing right there, a chop and jam.
There's so many little battles going on in this one instance right in front of us here.
Yep, and see now he stood his butt up. You can do that as a precursor to then driving your hips forward and do what we call like a knee slide. That way you can get your legs underneath of your shoulders. But right now, Costa's playing the game right. He's driving forward pressure, keeping Silva's heavy on his hands, and while he's doing so, landing some shots. That knee right there, ooh, that right there to the sciatic nerve, that is just painful. Another nice little, like, almost kind of like a chop and jam, but he's just snatching up that outside leg ride and swinging him down and chopping him back down to the mat.
All this time also making him carry that weight as well, wearing on that cardio.
This whole time, you know, Silva can't take a deep breath. His weight's on his hands, which anybody who does any type of physical fitness will know that adds to fatigue. And now he tried to do a rolling knee bar, which isn't the most effective spot to do that maneuver, but he just was tired of, you know, being in that position. He didn't have the proper tools to get up. Costa was doing everything correct to keep his weight down, and now he transitioned to here because at least it was like, well, I'm not winning this battle. Let me try to go somewhere else.
Costa making him pay at every angle. There's some beautiful elbows coming down, and they're using them again.
Yeah, Costa has a nice, short, driving elbow. He did it great with the right hand earlier, and now he's doing it with the left side. And I like that so much better than guys just trying to score points and, you know, the body, head. You can throw those shots, but they have to be mixed up with those hard, concussive blows, especially right here. You can drive in. You're really eliminating a lot of what a guy can do from his guard in this position. And that elbow,
and he throws the armbar up yet again with just 8 seconds left on the clock.
That elbow, not only is it causing concussive damage, but also, you know, it's easy to cut someone up there.
Well, a little bit of posturing after the fact there from Thiago Costa. Stood over Valentin Silva.
There's the 1-2, now 3. So that hook to a double leg takedown. Here's after that armbar attempt. That was a very nice armbar there from Silva, but perfectly blocked there by Costa. And now he's on top and did a great job of what we call riding his opponent. He was in the referee position on top, forced Silva to do a rolling knee bar before he really even had it. He didn't have the leg cinch between his legs, so he was basically just a kamikaze maneuver. And again, Costa just transitioned well into the guard and dropped down some beautiful elbows.
Beautiful elbows indeed. Powerful shots there. Valentin Silva showed that he was dangerous still, though, at the end of that round. Threw that with 8 seconds left. Another armbar attempt.
Yeah, if I was in Costa's corner, I'd be like, hey, I love how you're stopping him, but it's like a guy who has the flu. Great medication, you're curing it. But hey, why don't we just not go outside in the cold? You know what I mean? Like, let's be preventative right now and maybe not let him get that close, because if you slip the grip or something happens, that's a very high percentage finish if those hips get extended. And now we're talking about a broken arm and the end of the fight.
Slight delay there in the start of this second round. Just some ice cleared out of one of the corners there from Valentin Silva. So we have Thiago Costa in the yellow shorts and red corner, and Valentin Silva in the black shorts and blue corner. And Costa going straight back to that.
Yep.
Putting him down on the ground early.
He used his 1, 2, and 1. He's using his hands. There was no mystery about what his game plan is. He's going to come forward, throwing strikes to set up his takedowns, and he feels very confident being on top of Silva here against the guard. And Silva really has only shown one dangerous weapon, a very dangerous one. I would hate to see Costa put in great work and do everything correct to make one error and end up having his arm taken. So he, you know, I think that a little bit of preventative medicine in this situation would be good. Doing a better job of controlling the hips, not allowing, you know, Silva to completely be able to rotate up.
Silva now taking there, looking at for a guillotine for somehow, but he has a number of finishes. He has a lot of finishes. 13 of his 14 wins are by finish, 7 by submission and 6 by KO, TKO for Valentin Silva.
And this is a good spot for Costa to be in. Besides the threats again from that armbar, Silva's showing a very difficult time getting up to his feet. Again, now his weight's on his hands. He needs to get his knees underneath him more, or he can go ahead and drive his back against the cage. There, that was a knee slide. That's actually what he should do. Just, he's not doing it hard enough. You know, like, that's an aspect of fighting that people don't understand. Like, oh, well, the technique. I'm like, look, technique is great, but when it's you move the right direction, you have to move with a purpose. You can't just sit there and second guess, well, I think I'm doing this. You have to, you know, go in there and go right. Technique just means that as you move, you're moving as effectively and as efficiently as possible.
You see the corner there of Valentin Silva really urging him to make that move to stand up.
And the one hand up, the head's legal right now.
Well,
but
yeah.
I think that Costa's still used to the old rules. Didn't take that shot at the head with the knee that was very much open.
So yeah, that's he's looking for the submission of his own there. But you're quite right. If there's not, it's 2 hands down needed, they both need to be weight bearing.
And there he only had one hand on the mat.
And you can see Valentin Silva really struggling with fatigue here. Deep breaths.
And that's just from the really good riding of Costa. The whole time there, even when he got his butt up in the air, which he could have set up a knee slide, but his weight was on his hands. And that's also, too, when you lift your hips up and you tripod up like that, you leave yourself open to a guy who's good at riding legs. And that's what Costa did, is he threw in the legs. And now he has the hooks in. He's kind of losing one side. There's a potential for him to actually end up on bottom here if Silva rotates to his right. He needs to bring his right elbow down and then rotate that direction. If he does that, there's nothing on the left side of Silva that's really holding him from being able to move and rotate in a circle right now. The hook's not there. Oh, see, now the hook came back. But it's not a real tight hook. Well, now he moved himself back.
Valdez Silva struggling to survive, but that's on the chin rather than under the chin. He did give the referee a thumbs up just to let him know he's okay, but he's got to get out of this position.
And I don't agree with that. The referee, this and that, they don't ask for you to communicate back with them. At most, if they can't see you being choked and you're in a stalemate type position, they might grab a limb, and that's when you give them a positive feedback that you're okay. But any type of, thumbs up, I'm okay, it's a distraction. And I look for my opponents to do that. If you're going to go ahead and give a distraction, I'm taking advantage of it.
Just over a minute left now in this second round. All being Thiago Costa in this right from the start. Charged against the fence.
He's in a position to roll. He's just fatigue is setting in right now. He's worried about his back because even with the way the arm is in right now, if he rotated to his right, there's no chance of being a head and arm choke. If he rotates to his left, there's a head and arm choke still there that Costa could transition to because of the fact that his left arm's in the armpit.
You can just see when they sit up the difference in demeanor of the two. Thiago Costa fighting at his pace.
And right now, because of how you called it, Costa can't really quite get underneath that chin. I would do more things as far as disrupt the breathing of Silva. He's in a great position. They're not going to get restarted. This is where if I was in his corner, I would, control his breathing. Different cue words that we have to basically, look, smother him. You're not going to get the finish, but let's really just elevate his heart rate. Anytime you cut someone's from breathing, their heart rate increases more than what it already is, and their oxygen saturation rate in their blood starts dropping.
Valdez Silva made a point there of jumping out of that guard back to his feet, but it was Thiago Costa that beat his chest as he went back to his corner. You can tell he's happy with that round, and so is corner. That's what he has to do, and this is where Valdez Silva has got to come into this third round and stop that takedown, because when he's been up against the cage, that's where Thiago Silva has made him carry the weight and has worked to positions like this.
100% agree with you. At this point, Costa might be very capable of beating him in other areas, but we've already seen through rounds 1 and 2 that besides the armbar attempts that we saw in the beginning, Silva really doesn't have an answer for the takedown, of Costa. Once he gets taken down, he has a hard time getting back up to his feet. It's completely sapping him. His offense from the guard, the armbar, was nullified by Costa. So really, his main concern in this round is to make sure the fight occurs anywhere else besides where it's been. Stop the takedown. Let's take our chances on our feet purely, or you on top. But being on the bottom right now for Silva has shown a lose situation for him. I don't see how that if he gets taken down again in this round, it's going to look exactly how it's been looking for the first two.
So we start round number 3 here. The third and final round. Thiago Costa in the yellow shorts and red corner with Valdez Silva in the black shorts and blue corner.
And nice jab. And right now, Costa is very intelligently, very in increments, is moving him towards the cage. So he threw the jab, and now he got Silva very close to the cage so that he can initiate his takedown. And now he missed it, but you know what? He's still against the cage, driving in.
You can see the frustration because they're right in front of us. Valdez Silva, I know his head's being pressed against the cage with the head of Thiago Costa, but shook his head as they engaged the clinch there. This is not where he wanted to be this early in round number 3.
Now, and I've always been amused by that, by fighters that are like, well, you fight here, fight. It's like, dude, this is a fight. I'm going to try to put you where I can have the most chance of winning. And it's not my job to go ahead and make this a stand-up fight or make this a ground fight or whatever you want to have this fight take place at. That's your job.
Absolutely.
You don't want to be here? Then that's your job for Silva to avoid, being against the cage and being taken down.
And there we go, Costa again with a nice trip against the cage and top position, working off the cage now. This could open up more opportunities for his submissions, I suppose.
Yeah, and he's in half guard on top. The previously 2 rounds, we've seen him in the full guard, and then now we also seen him take the back and throw the hooks.
But against the cage as well, that's
right, now he's in a position here to where he might even be able to work into the mount. Oh, but Silva did a good job of getting that butterfly hook with his right leg and elevating and be able to pull himself back into guard. The butterfly guard is a great guard for aggressive guys like a Costa, because it keeps people from able to drive in. They get too aggressive, and the guy puts that hook in, and you drive forward. I mean, that's one of the easiest ways to keep me from wanting to pass someone's guard. They put in a butterfly hook. I can't drive forward till I nullify that hook.
So just 2 minutes 50 left in this third and final round. Costa on top.
Great head position. Costa just does all the small things correctly. You can see, like, even when it was coming to the referee position, the turtle, the way he completely just sapped Silva's energy from Silva never being in a position to be able to, even neutral. The only time this fight's been neutral is when they started on their feet facing each other. Other than that, every exchange, every grappling position, Costa constantly, whether it's where his hips are, where his head is, where he's holding the wrist, is consistently keeping Silva in bad position.
Such a key to the wrestling game that you add to jiu-jitsu is where you put your weight as well, and he just puts it in the right spot to make Valdin Silva nullify the hooks he's looking to get in, but also carry that weight, so he's constantly wearing on that cardio.
Carrying the weight, and that's what you're really seeing. You know, Silva is a conditioned athlete. He worked hard. He came in shape for this fight. But that being said, you're in a bad position for 10 minutes, like he's been now going on, 13 minutes. Everybody,
jumping for the guillotine.
Oh,
this could be tight.
Set out.
Thiago Costa was not letting any of that work go to waste. Popped his head out there, but
that was close. Silva's shown that he could land that home run. He is capable. He has that in his toolbox. Right there, though, the way that Costa just pulled his head out by pushing down on the shoulder.
Armbar threat. Rolling again, but now Costa back in this position. Just over a minute left to play.
It's much of a shutout that basically that Costa has pitched here. As long as he stays here, but and if I was his corner right now, I'd be screaming like, okay, patience, breathe, which means relax, slow down.
Yes.
If you see something, let's finish the fight. We're always looking to go ahead and knock a guy out or submit him. But if something crazy happens, bail. You know what I mean? Like, just, hey, break it.
Pull the chute.
Right, exactly. Pull the chute. That's what I'm going to use that from now on. That's perfect. Because at this point, if anything, if he rolls on an ankle, don't stay in there and fight back and something bad happens. Just bail, go back to the center of the cage.
Reset.
Yeah, and it's Silva's job to go ahead and throw something kamikaze, not yours.
20 seconds left, and Costa pulls him once against to the ground.
Yeah, great way of driving him. Picture-perfect pressure on his upper back, on the back of the head, and then attacking with that knee. Nice there, the floaters.
There we go, the
easy decision.
Finally, and look at that happiness of Costa. Great performance there as well. It's in trouble with the armbar early off Valdin Silva, but you talked us through it. He absolutely knew exactly what the issue was and what he needed to do, the patience, where he needed to put the weight, got that free, and from that moment onwards, rounds 1 through 3, it was a grappling masterclass.
It was. Great exchange and showing how to set up the takedown. He always came behind punches to keep Silva distracted and focused on something else. And then when he failed on the shots there in the third round, he came back, drove to the cage, used that as a setup to keep it going forward. And then when he got the takedown, kept great pressure, especially in the back position. Didn't just throw the hooks in when it wasn't appropriate time to get reversed to the bottom. Great top game riding. And then within the guard, you're right, he got stuck in a very nice armbar there from Silva. Silva has a clean transition, very dangerous armbar. It was he was deep under the elbow, but Costa did everything picture perfect, kept pressure down, inched that elbow ever so slightly out by keeping the pressure to where Silva never had the opportunity to extend, to do any damage to the arm, and then once the elbow was cleared, turned the corner. Even the small detail that I pointed out, that he held the thigh and he kept his ear to it.
Yes.
You do that to make sure that your opponent can't throw you in a triangle and transition to, triangle omoplata, which are very common secondary maneuvers.
Great work there. Let's hand it back to our MC, Mr. Cyrus Fees, to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 hard-fought rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. They judge the fight 30-27, 30-25, and 30-26. For your winner by unanimous decision, Tigro Arsoboko Costa.